Oh, hey there. I'm just celebrating the Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. Hey, do you want to win? Do you want to win on this Unit 6 assessment? Well, you might want to watch this video. Hey, what's up, chat? Welcome to the Unit 6 study guide walkthrough video. Hey, in this video, my hope is to walk through all of the answers. This video is best used if you have attempted to solve each problem on your own first. Okay, so the best way to use this is for you to solve it and then use this video to check and or see where you made your mistakes. Okay, so if you've already done it, great. Walk through the video. Feel free to skip along. Go to where you need. If you haven't done it, do a problem. Then watch me do it and make sure it's right. And then so on and so forth. All right. So let's dive in. I will say I'm just going to be using a handheld calculator instead of using the Desmos calculator on the screen in order to allow this video to go relatively quickly and for me to be able to have it zoomed in fully. All right. So first one, we are solving this inequality. And so whenever we want to solve inequality, we want to get the variable by itself. Okay, so when I'm solving an inequality, I'm trying to figure out what the x equals. Okay, and I'm going to do that by using the inverse operation to get the variable by itself, to isolate the variable. So first, I'm going to get rid of this plus 3. Well, the inverse of plus 3 is minus 3. I'm going to do that to both sides. The 3's are going to cancel here. I have 4.4 is greater than or equal to 2.2x. All right, and then I want to get the x by itself. This is multiplication, so I have to divide by 2.2. Those cancel, leaving me with x greater than equal to sign 4.4 divided by 2.2, and that is going to give me 2. And so what this number sentence says, or inequality says, it says 2 is greater than or equal to x. So if 2 is greater than or equal to x, then that means x is less than or equal to 2. Okay? And so again, you want to remember all of the answer choices have the x in the front. If it's written the other way, you just got to flip it. All right? But both of these statements are true. 2 is greater than or equal to x, or x is less than or equal to 2. Remember, the sign is always facing the same number. All right? And there you have it. So x is less than or equal to 2. Correct answer is B. All right, moving on. Question number 2 here. We have, I'll just go ahead and rewrite it. Okay, so in this one we have -5 times the difference of a number and 8. Is less than or equal to 2 times the sum of x and 6. All right, so I have this number on the outside, so I have to use the distributive property. Okay, so my first step is to distribute. If I have a number on the outside, I have to get rid of that number by distributing it. So I have -5 times x. That's going to give me -5x. Then I have -5 times -8. And that is going to give me a positive 40, okay? So, because a -5 times a -8 is a positive 40, okay? Then, inequality symbol, less than or equal to, 2 times x is going to give me 2x. 2 times 6 is going to give me plus 12, all right? And so now, I want to start by getting all of the x's on one side and all of the numbers on the other side. Again, I'm isolating the variable, moving the letters to one side, the numbers to the other side. Okay, so I'm going to move this over to the left side. So this is a positive 2x. So I am going to subtract the 2x. Okay, subtract 2x on both sides. The x's here are going to cancel, leaving me with -7x plus 40 is less than or equal to 12. All right. Now, I'm going to get rid of the plus 40. I do that by subtracting 40. Subtract 40 on both sides. The 40s are going to cancel. We got -7x is less than or equal to 28, negative 28 that is, so negative 28, all right? And then I'm going to divide by, again, this is negative 7 times x. I have to do inverse, divide by negative 7, divide by negative 7. Remember the golden rule of inequalities. Whenever you divide by a negative number or multiply by a negative number, you gotta flip that sign. So it becomes x is greater than or equal to negative 28 divided by negative 7 is positive 4. So my answer is x is greater than 4. All right. Moving on. Okay. Number 3. What value satisfies m when they satisfy the inequality shown below? Okay. So let me just rewrite it. 45 is greater than 3 times the sum of 2m and 7. All right. So I'm gonna start by. All right. I'm gonna start by distributing the 3. Okay. So that's the distributive property. 3 times 2m is going to give me 6m. 3 times 7 is going to give me 21. So plus 21. Then I'm just bringing down my symbol and my other number. Okay. Now I want to get rid of the plus 21. So I'm going to do minus 21. Minus 21. 21s are going to cancel, leaving me with 6m greater than symbol 24. Then I'm going to divide by 6. Both sides. 6's cancel. So I have 24 divided by 6, which is 4. 4 is greater than m. Okay? So 4 is greater than m. Or another way we could think of that is that m is less than 4. Okay? If 4 is greater than m, then m is less than 4. Okay, so I got to figure out which inequality would satisfy that. Okay, would make that true. Well, here I have multiple solutions. Okay, let me make sure I did that. Yeah, so I have multiple solutions here. So it could be m equals 5, that would make that true. And then also, m could equal 6, as long as it is greater than 4, okay? So there are gonna be some questions, maybe not multiple choice questions where you have multiple answers, but there are gonna be questions where it says select all, so you need to know, be prepared to, answer questions where there are more than one answer, especially for an inequality. All right, moving on. Okay, next one is very similar. I'm just gonna go ahead and distribute this right here, and then I'll rewrite it on the other side. So I'm taking the negative 4, and I'm distributing it to both of the inside. Same thing with the other. Taking the 2, distributing to both sides. So we got negative 4 times 3x is gonna give me negative 12x. Okay, then negative 4 times 2 is going to give me negative 8. Then I got greater than symbol. 2 times 2x is going to give me 4x. 2 times 4 is going to give me plus 8. All right. So I want to get all my x's to one side, get all my numbers to the other side. So I'm going to start by subtracting the 4x, because that's a positive 4x on that side. Subtract 4x. Okay. That's going to give me a negative 16x. Minus 8 is greater than or equal to 8. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to plus 8 to get rid of the minus 8. So plus 8 on both sides. That's going to cancel to give me 0 pairs. I got negative 16x is greater than or equal to 16. Okay. And then I'm going to divide by negative 16. Divide by negative 16, remembering the golden rule of inequalities. Whenever I divide or multiply by a negative, I gotta flip that sign. So flip the sign the other way. 16 divided by negative 16 is negative 1. All right. So our answer is x is less than or equal to -1, which is D. All right, moving on. All right, so says which of these inequalities matches the graph shown below. So unfortunately here, the only way to really know, I mean, there is a way that you could use your calculator and plug it in to see, but you have to solve all of these to figure out if the graph matches that one, all right? And so that is what I'm gonna do really quickly. So we're gonna start with little choice A. So we got -3x minus 5 is less than or equal to 1, all right? So plus 5, that cancels. Got -3x less than or equal to 6. Divide by -3, divide by -3, that cancels, leaving me with x. Gotta flip that sign, -2, okay? So this says x is greater than -2. This is, so I should have started with this, okay? This inequality says x is greater than, because it's shaded that way, or equal to 2. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for x is greater than or equal to 2, because again, it's shaded at 2, so that means it's equal. Greater than, because it's shaded to the right, and then it's at 2. Okay, so answer choice isn't A. All right, let's look at answer choice B. Okay, well, we got -3x plus 5 less than or equal to -1. Okay, so minus 5, those cancel. -3x less than or equal to -6. Then we're going to divide by -3, divide by -3. The -3s are going to cancel, leaving me with x. Remember, golden rule, got to flip that. Greater than or equal to -6 divided by -3, and that gives me 2. All right. So this says x is greater than 2. Okay. And so we have found our answer. Okay. In the event that we had not found it, we would need to keep going and just repeat and do the same thing there. But for the sake of this video and it not getting too long, I'm not going to do that. All right. So moving on. All right. Question number 6. Which inequality matches the statement below? The weight for the ride was, okay, so the weight is what for the ride is what we're looking for. That's what we don't know. That's our x. Was at most. At most means that it could be that or less, right? It can't go over that. So it must be less than or equal to. That's what at most means. And then we got 30, okay? So our inequality, and they use W for weight. I like that, okay? So weight was at most less than or equal to 30, all right? And then just pick that one, all right? Again, at most means this has to be less than that. Can't be over that, all right? Okay? Now, all right, let's, so now we got one with some fractions, okay? And so we're gonna solve this inequality just like we would if it was whole numbers, all right? So we're gonna get the x by itself. We're gonna do so by adding 1/2, adding 1/2. Those 1/2s is gonna cancel. So I got 1/3 x greater than or equal to, when I do 3/4 plus 1/2 is gonna give me 1.25, okay? Yeah, that's gonna give me 1.25. Then I'm gonna divide by 1/3, divide by 1/3, okay? And so that's gonna give me x okay, that gives me, so x equals 3 points, I'm sorry, not equals, is greater than or equal to 3.75 is my answer once I get that. Okay, so I'm looking for which inequality matches that, okay? Well, 3.75 is, we know, is between 3 and 4. Well, this has it, this has it between 1 and 2. So that's not right. This has it between 3 and 4, but the inequality symbol is facing, this is less than, it's supposed to be greater than. So I know that one can't be right, okay? Letter C has it between 3 and 4, okay? And is facing that way and is shaded, okay? So this is the correct answer. And when there's 4 marks in between, so this is 3, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 marks to get to the next number. So each number really does represent 0.25. That would be 0.50, and that would be 0.75. Okay, so those are benchmark fractions. That's something you should have known a long time ago. And even if you didn't, again, just know, all right, that decimal is between what 2 numbers, right? Again, this one is between 2 and 3, so I know that one couldn't have been it either. All right, and so there you have it. All right, moving on. Question number 8. We're matching the graph with the inequality. So we're gonna get the x's to this side, minus 5x, minus 5x. Okay, then that's gonna cancel that out, and I'll just rewrite it over here. I got negative 2x is less than or equal to 8, right? Because 3 minus 5x. All right, that gave me a negative 2. Then I'm going to divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. Negative 2's are going to cancel. X, now I got to flip that sign because I divided by negative 2, is negative 4. Okay, so we got x is greater than or equal to negative 4. All right, so I want to go find the graph where it's at negative 4. Okay, so it's between this one and this one, and then it's shaded greater than, but is it an open or closed circle? Well, it is closed because it is also equal to. All right, so our answer there is C. All right, all right. So for this next one, all right, on this one, this is the one I showed you that I think is best if we use the calculator to solve this one, all right? Because it will just, actually, sorry, let me split screen this real quick. So my calculator, all right. So we're identifying all of the values. And so because it would be a lot of work to substitute every single number in and also to even solve this inequality, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plug each number in, and then I'm going to see which ones would make the inequality true. All right, so let's start by doing this. I'm gonna start by writing the expression. All right, so we got, let's go fraction bar, we got 6x minus 12. Again, I'm writing just the right side, okay? I don't need to write what's in front of it, all right? The other side of the inequality. Divided by 3, and then we got plus 9x, okay? And so now we're gonna tell it that x equals, all right? Then we're gonna tell it x equals 0. Now, when x equals 0, this part of the inequality is negative 4, okay? So I need to say, okay, does negative 37, is that less than or equal to negative 4? Okay. Is negative 37 less than or equal to negative 4? And the answer is yes, that is, because again, I'm dealing with negatives. The bigger the negative, the smaller the number. So negative 4 is greater, okay? So 0 would work to make that inequality true. All right, then let's look at negative 3, okay? When I put in negative 3, all right, it gives me negative 37. So is negative 37 less than or equal to negative 37? And the answer, of course, is yes, it is equal to, all right? So that also would make that inequality true, all right? So again, I want to make sure we understand. I am substituting in the number, negative 5. In for x. Okay. Then I'm saying, all right, what does that give me? Well, and then I'm putting that part in for the equation. Not the equation, for that part of the expression, that part of the inequality. Okay, so we got negative 37 is less than or equal to, when x is negative 5, negative 59. Okay, is negative 37 less than or equal to negative 59? And the answer is no, because the bigger the negative, the smaller the number. So negative 59 is actually not greater than, it's less than. All right, so then let's put in 1. All right, when we put in 1, all right, we get 7. So is 7, 30, so we got 37 less than or equal to 7. Again, that is true, right? Because negative 37 is less than or equal to the 7 that we get when we put it in 1. All right, let's put in negative 7. When we do negative 7, we get negative 38. I'm sorry, negative 81. So negative 37 is less than or equal to negative 81. And the answer to that is no, okay? Negative 37 is not less than negative 81, all right? And then lastly, let's put in positive 4. We put in a positive 4, we get 40. Is negative 37 less than or equal to 40? You bet, all right? So there are all of the solutions that would make that inequality true, all right? All right, moving on. All right, so question number 10, almost halfway there. All right, so we got 3 less than a number. So we have 3, then we got less than. That does mean subtraction, but less than, we have to flip the order. 4 times a number, that's gonna be 4x, is at most is less than or equal to 20. Okay. So again, if I understand, if you pick B is the most, is going to be the most picked incorrect answer. And the reason is, whenever you see less than, okay, not for an inequality symbol, but as a part of the translation of the expression or the situation, you got to flip the order, okay? So you do have to understand when it's coming, because less than here means subtraction, okay? So less than when means subtraction. Okay, that's when we got to flip the order, right? So instead of it being 3 minus x, it's going to be 4x minus 3 less than or equal to 20. And that is, C is going to be our correct answer. Again, B is going to be the most picked wrong answer, because you're going to just think, again, it does represent subtraction, but you got to flip the order, all right? All right, select the inequalities that represent the following statement. To receive the discount, you can be no taller than, so no taller than, so that must mean you got to be less than or equal to 48. You can't be taller than, you can be 48, but you can be no taller, all right? And then x is the height we're talking about. So this is our inequality. X is less than or equal to 48, all right? So that's the one we're looking for. X is less than or equal to 48. But we also get, the other could be true. So if you can't be taller than 48, then 48 can be greater than or equal to x, all right? So we also need to get that one as well. So for every inequality, again, the written forward is true, but then also the other written backwards is also true. So 48 is greater than or equal to x, and that would be that one there, all right? All right, moving on. All right, which statement matches the inequality? So we got 4x minus 8 is greater than or equal to 3. So let's look at the first one. The difference of 4 and 8 is at least 3. Well, that doesn't say a number, so there's no variable there, so that's not right, okay? The difference between 8 and 4 times a number, okay? Now, when you do difference, you don't have to flip it, so that would be 8 minus 4 times a number is greater than 3, okay? But that's not right, because it should be greater than or equal to as well, okay? The difference between a number and 8 is at most 3, okay? The difference between a number and 8 is at most 3, All right, again, that one doesn't have 4 times, so that one's wrong. And then the last one, the difference of 4 times, so 4 times a number and 8 is at least 3. So at least is greater than or equal to 3, and so D is our correct answer there. All right, number 13. Which verbal statement matches the following inequality? Okay, 7, we got less than 3 plus 1/4 times X, okay? So the sum, okay, the sum of 3 and 1/4, so 3 and 1/4 of a number is less than 7, okay? Close, not quite. 7 is less than the sum of 3 and 1/4 a number. Okay, that looks right. Let's make sure the other one's 7 greater. Well, it's greater than, so no, that's not right. And then the sum is at most. Again, that one has the order flipped, so that one isn't. And even at most is less than or equal to. All right. The car rental company charges a one-time fee of $50 along with $100 for each additional day thereafter. All right. If you have $250, how many days can you rent a car? All right. So we got to write an inequality from the word problem. So we got a one-time fee of $50 along with $100 for each additional day. Okay. So the inequality would be 50, what you got to pay, then 100 for each day, where X equals the number of days. All right. And, all right, I got $250, so I can't spend more than that, so it's going to be less than or equal to $250. All right. So that is my inequality. All right. Then I'm going to solve it by subtracting the 50s. That's going to cancel. Got 100x less than or equal to 200. Divide by 100. Divide by 100. That's going to cancel. X is less than or equal to 2. So, how many days can you rent? Well, greater or equal to a minimum of 3 days, a maximum of 3 days, and at least 3 days. And none of these answers are true. It says a maximum of 3 days, but that does not work. That's what the answer key says. So there's apparently an error in this one that I did not catch, but it is all good. The answer that you're looking for is it's a maximum of 2 days, no more than 2 days. All right. So again, this problem is probably one of the more difficult ones, just because there's a lot to kind of keep in mind here, a lot to read. You just got to read it and match which one inequality matches that. All right. So Sarah earns, you got to just kind of break each one down. Sarah earns $20 an hour and works for a certain amount of time. David earns $17 an hour and works 2 more hours than Sarah. David made more than Sarah. Okay, so again, Sarah works for 20 an hour. That looks like 20x. David earns 17 for an hour, but he also works 2 more, so x plus 2. And David made more, so his is greater. So A is actually the correct answer there. All right. Again, if you just break the other ones down, all right. Again, I'll look at B. I'm not going to do all of them, but Sarah earns 20 an hour for a certain amount of time. David earns $2 more than Sarah. All right. This one doesn't tell how much David earns, so that one can't be right. All right. Sarah earns $20 an hour, works for a certain amount of time. David earns. Sarah made more than David. Okay, this one says Sarah made more. So Sarah, that would be greater than for Sarah. So that is wrong, all right? And then the last one has the 1750 in the front, having for Sarah, okay? So that would be wrong. So, because this would be 17x, and then the 20 is the second part, all right? So, again, just break each of them down. That shouldn't be too difficult, but it does require some reading and breaking it down, all right? All right, Chris's credit card has a credit limit of $500 currently. All right, currently he has $392 on his card. Currently, when he went out for lunch, he put an additional, okay, we'll say an additional $25 on the card. Below is an inequality, shows how much Chris can put on his card before he goes over it, all right? So he had 392, then he put plus 25, okay? Then plus X is how much, and then to not go over, less than or equal to. So then we just gotta solve this, all right? So when I solve this, I'm gonna combine these, all right? And when I do that, I'm gonna put these two together. That's gonna give me 408 and 17 plus X less than or equal to 500, okay? Let me just double check my math before I get, so 392 plus 25, yep, 417, all right. And then subtract the 417, subtract the 417, that cancels, less than or equal to 83, all right? So he cannot go over $83, all right? All right, James and Elijah collect baseball cards. James has 1/3 as many cards. If James collects 15 more and he sells, this is the inequality. We just gotta solve the inequality and then figure out which one would make it true, all right? So I'm gonna start by getting the x's by itself, subtract the x, all right? So when I do that, let me, okay, so we got 1/3 all right, we got 1/3 minus, again, we got to understand that, again, I'm subtracting that x, that's 1, all right? So 1/3 minus 1 is going to give me, it gives me negative 0.666 is repeating, okay? That's really 2/3 as a fraction, okay? Plus 15 greater than -5, okay? So we're going to subtract the 15, subtract the 15. That's going to cancel. Sorry, I forgot to put the x there. All right, so we got negative 0.6 repeating, x greater than -20, okay? And then we're going to divide by negative 0.6 repeating, divide by 0.6 repeating. Those are going to cancel. Again, I'm dividing by negative 0.6, so I got to flip that sign. And so that's -20, -20 divided by, again, a negative point, well, I'll put 0.666 repeating. Okay, if I keep repeating, that's gonna give me, it's gonna give me 30, all right? So my answer is x is less than or equal to 30, all right? So what value agrees with this situation? Well, again, this is x is less than 30. So can it be 30? No, can't be 30, all right? Because it has to be less. Can't be 25. It could be either A or B there, okay? Because again, it has to be less than 30, all right? Oh, I'm tripping, sorry. Less than. I was just making sure you were paying attention. It is D, all right, because those are the only numbers that are less than. All the other numbers are greater than. So the answer is D, 25. All right. All right, almost done. Okay, same thing here. Encourage you, you know what, we can just solve this one. You could just plug in each of the values and figure it out, but for this one's relatively easy to solve, so I'm just gonna solve this one. Get rid of the plus 4, so plus 4, plus 4, the 4s are gonna cancel. So we got negative 3 less than x divided by 2, okay? So to get rid of the divide by 2, we gotta multiply by 2. Multiply by 2 on both sides. 2's are gonna cancel. X less than symbol, negative 6. Okay, so we got negative 6 is less than x, or also x is greater than negative 6. So we are looking for each of the values that says that each of the numbers that are greater than negative 6. Well, negative 8 is not greater than negative 6. 0 is greater than negative 6 because it's any 0 is greater than any negative numbers. 9 is also greater than negative 6. Again, 9 is greater than negative 6. That's true. Negative 6 is not greater than negative 6. Okay. Negative 3 is greater than negative 6. That's true. Negative 7 is greater than negative 6. That is not true. Okay. So those are our solutions. All right. Another one like that. Subtract 7. That cancels. Negative 3x is greater than 15. Divide by negative 3. Divide by negative 3. Negative 3's cancel, leaving me with x. Flip the sign because I'm divided by negative 3. And that would be negative 5. So we got x is less than negative 5. All right. So is negative 7 less than negative 5? You bet it is. All right. It's less than because it's further away from 0. Is negative 4 less than negative 5? Nope. Is 11 less than negative 5? Nope. Is negative 12 less than negative 5? You bet. Is 5, positive 5 less than negative 5? Nope. Is 0 less than negative 5? Nope. All right, so my answers are negative 7 and 12. All right, and then lastly, a school fundraiser is trying to raise money for their athletic teams to get new equipment. Selling candy bars at a local baseball game. To rent a booth at the game, they had to pay $200. So they had to pay $200. They buy the candy bars $1 each, and it sells for $3 at the game. Okay. Find the minimum number of candy bars they must sell to make a profit. All right. So, all right. So the answer here is that they must. All right. So let's just break it down. All right. So to rent the booth, they had to pay $200. Okay. And they bought the candy bars from $1 each, but and they sell it for $3. Okay. But they're having to spend to make money, all right, here. So find the minimum number of candy bars. So X is the candy bars, all right. What is the number of candy bars they must sell to make a profit? So they are trying to make more than $200, okay. Well, for each candy bar, they're gonna make $2, right? Because they bought it for $1 and they sell it for $3. So for each candy bar, they're gonna get $2. So 2 times X. And then I need that to be greater than or equal. Hold on. No, minimum, they're trying to make more than 200. So it needs to be, greater than or equal to 200, which is what they spent. So to make a profit, find the minimum number. Oh, the minimum, sorry. What's the minimum number of candy bars? Let me see. they had to pay. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So then we divide this by 2. Divide this by 2. We got x is less than or equal to. All right. So, oh, I'm sorry. This should be greater than equal to. All right. So if they sell more than 100, they're gonna get 200. They really got it. They must sell at least 101 to get greater than 200. Because if they sell 100, that's gonna give them $200. If they sell one more than that, 202, that's gonna give them $202. So they must sell more. So C, they gotta sell at least 200, at least 100, 101 to make a profit. All right. So, hey, I know that was a long video. Hopefully you didn't have to sit through all of that, but hey, let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to, add a comment, like it, subscribe, do all the things. Hey, happy studying for your Unit 6 test. I know that you can do it, and we out.